With the rise of alternative rock in the early 90s came a certain band. A certain band that within the span of less than half a decade released two absolute banger albums. A certain band I'm sure you all already know who I'm talking about given the title of this video. That band, of course, is Stone Temple Pilots. A band who left their mark with two signature releases right at the beginning of their career. They also had a few more albums throughout the 90s, but yeah, honestly, I don't really want to talk about those right now, so yeah. In 1992, STP released their first album, Core, to some slight backlash, but more importantly, to critical success. And I'm just gonna get straight to the point and say, this is a hell of a debut. The second the instruments kick in to Dead and Bloated, you're immediately shoved into a grimy conglomerate of punchy riffs, raw, dirty, Seattle-style production, and vocals from one of the best singers in the scene. And this level of quality is consistent throughout the entirety of the project, while still expressing a wide range of style and emotion. From the heavy setting of the aforementioned Dead and Bloated to a sleazy vibe created from Sex Type Thing, to the energetic tone in songs like Wicked Garden, Piece of Pie, and Cracker Man, to the somber and reflective tone of Creep. All in all, Core is undoubtedly a well-rounded package. It's no less than a joy to listen to with a great range of vibes and emotion. The absolute same can be said with their 1994 release, Purple. Arguably even more so. 1994 brought a truly unique release in not only their discography, but the genre as a whole, I'd say. While there are naturally some similarities between Core and Purple, they both offer 12 gracious melodies to bless your eardrums that evoke different kinds of feelings and vibes, and there's certain points in Purple that have elements of Core in it. However, Purple introduced a new, distinct sound in production while still staying true to their roots they established with Core, and expanding on them tremendously. Purple mixes this new sound with a dirty tone that was also apparent in Core, like in Silvergun Superman for example. But while Purple shares a certain Core-like heaviness on some songs, it's far from any sort of copy. It stands alone with its own distinctive identity with many differences than Core. To take a saying from a good buddy of mine, Core is STP coming into the scene, Purple is STP coming into their own. Purple offers its own unique twang to its heaviness and overall style, and it makes for a noteworthy project, to say the absolute least. The production on this album is something I've come to enjoy quite a lot. Of course, the production on Core was great as well, but Purple stands out in its sound and embraces it. I always loved how prevalent the bass was throughout this entire record. Honestly, it almost seems like the bass is more prevalent than the guitar at times, but I honestly love that because the bass work is fantastic. The bass pulls so much weight on this record, and I'm glad that Robert DeLeo's playing got its chance to shine through, because it adds a remarkable amount of quality to the album. And it helped the sound of this album stand out and really define itself. Not to mention Weiland's obvious, awesome vocal performances throughout the entire album. Now, both of these albums are without a doubt great, but this begs the question I've been leading up to this entire video. Which one is better? Honestly, a case could be made for either, and I could respect either decision. It's a tough decision to make because both have their own identities and are solid for a plethora of different reasons. I'd say Core is overall the heavier album, while Purple brings a wide variety of more melodic tunes, while still keeping a heaviness that is complemented by its distinguished production. Speaking of production, I have come to absolutely love the sound produced on Purple, if that wasn't already apparent. While the record itself may be a little quiet, I love the prevalence of the bass, and Weiland's singing is complemented incredibly well with the production. Hell, the whole album is complemented by the production, honestly. God, these albums are just so damn good, man. Now, as to which album I prefer, I gotta go with Purple. I love Core, but Purple just hits different. Core has undeniable bangers like the opening 3-track run, Creep, and Plush, just to name a few. but I love how Purple taps into a more melodic writing style and nails it while doing so. Hell, it nails it when it wants to be heavy. On top of that, you have the likes of Kitchenware and Candy Bars that nail both. While it truly is a tough decision, I find myself revisiting Purple more frequently. Sorry, Core. I do still love you, though. STP may not be the most revolutionary band or the most earth-shattering in the alternative rock scene, but it's not like they need to be. That's not to discredit them at all. It's not like they need to reinvent the wheel to be a noteworthy band. Not everyone's gotta be a Chris Cornell, or a Joe Satriani, or a Geddy Lee, or a Lars Ulrich. Haha, just kidding. But you get my point. STP still has more than enough skill and merit, and the band all work together collectively to create two essential records in the alternative rock scene. Two records that are undoubtedly worth your time. Both Core and Purple are insanely fun listens with incredibly catchy, punchy, heavy, melodic, and impactful bangers. And Scott Weiland's vocals being the absolute cherry on top. Honestly, I don't know if I gave enough credit to Scott on just how good of a vocalist he was, but I'm sure a lot of you understand just how noteworthy he was. Rest in peace to an absolute legend. It's so easy to come back to these records and just have a blast listening every single time. Core is good fun all around and a great introduction to STP stepping into the scene and making a name for themselves. Purple, however, is on another level. STP really came into their own style for this album. The production and tone on Purple is so distinct and awesome. I love the sound and different vibes each song brings on this album. It's much more varied and proved that STP had much more to offer after the success of Core. The band showcased their skill and collectively worked together to truly leave us with 12 gracious melodies. To reiterate here, I love Purple to death, and it is more than deserving to take the win over Core here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that just about wraps up what I gotta say. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribed. Let me know which album you prefer down in the comments below. That being said, take care now.